I was just a delivery driver trying to survive another long day when an old man looked at me, went pale, and whispered my last name like it was a ghost. I had no idea that moment would rewrite my family's history, or reveal that my grandfather had once turned down a fortune that could have changed everything. My name's Bryson Thompson. 6 months ago, I wore suits, ran meetings, and thought I had life figured out. I was a regional manager at a lumber company, proud husband, dad to a little girl named Juniper. Now, I deliver boxes for $12 an hour. Life can humble you faster than gravity. The fall started when my wife, Melody, found her new soulmate at the gym. One Tuesday afternoon, I was a husband. By Friday, I was packing my things into cardboard boxes. By the next month, I was delivering them. Divorce drains you, not just your bank account, but your pride, your sense of direction, even your mornings. I was living above my uncle's garage, counting coins for instant coffee, when I started to wonder if this was it. If this was all my life would ever be. Then came October 15th, the day that proved fate has a sense of timing. That morning started like any other, cracked bathroom tiles, lukewarm coffee, uniform still smelling like yesterday's sweat. My daughter called from her mom's house, asking if I'd make her school play. I told her I couldn't, another shift. Her silence said everything. I loaded the van, scanned my route, and got rolling. 20 deliveries later, I found myself in a part of town where the lawns were too perfect, and the mailboxes cost more than my rent. The kind of neighborhood that makes you question every choice you ever made. The address was 1847, Willowcrest Drive. Massive gates. Perfect hedges. A mansion that looked like it had its own weather system. I buzzed the intercom, said, "Delivery for Mr. Peton," and waited as the gates opened like they were welcoming someone important. Spoiler, that wasn't me. The driveway wound through manicured gardens until I reached a front door taller than my apartment ceiling. I wiped my hands on my pants before I rang the bell. When the door opened, an elderly man stood there, silver hair, cardigan, posture of someone used to giving orders. But when he saw my face, he froze. The color drained from his cheeks. His lips trembled. Then he whispered, "You're a Thompson." I blinked. "Yes, sir. Bryson Thompson. Delivery for." He stepped closer, eyes welling with tears. "You look exactly like him. Like Cecil." My chest tightened. "You knew my grandfather?" "Knew him." His voice cracked. "He saved my life." The package slipped from my hand and hit the marble with a dull thud. He asked me to come inside. I hesitated, company rules, GPS tracking, all that, but something in his eyes made it impossible to walk away. The house looked like a museum. Paintings, chandeliers, rugs that probably had names. But he didn't care about any of it. He led me straight to a study, opened a hidden safe behind a painting, and pulled out an envelope sealed with dark red wax. "I wrote this in 1953, he said. "Your grandfather refused to take it." I sat there, stunned, as he began telling me what happened all those years ago. He was 19, a scared kid drafted into the Korean War. My grandfather, Staff Sergeant Cecil Thompson, was his squad leader. During one of the coldest battles, the Chinese forces surrounded their position. Explosions everywhere. Soldiers freezing, bleeding, running. Aldrich, that was his name, got hit in both legs. Couldn't move. Everyone else fled for cover. Everyone but one man. My grandfather threw him over his shoulder and ran, 2 miles through enemy fire, 3 bullets in his own body, and he never stopped. He talked to me the whole way, Aldrich said, tears streaking down his wrinkled face. Told me about his wife, his son. Told me I was gonna live. When they reached the med station, Aldrich had tried to reward him, told him his family owned Peton Pharmaceuticals, that he'd make him rich. My grandfather just smiled and said, "Just stay alive, kid. That's payment enough." After the war, Aldrich's father tried to track my grandfather down to give him what he was owed. But he'd vanished, no address, no phone number. Just gone. So my father created a trust fund, Aldrich said. $10,000, set to grow until a Thompson came forward. I've spent 70 years trying to find you. I laughed nervously, thinking this had to be a scam. But he opened a folder, documents, records, proof of everything. Birth certificates, military files, even my dad's death certificate. It was all real. Open the letter, he said. I broke the old wax seal and read aloud. This trust, established January 15, 1953, in gratitude for Staff Sergeant Cecil Thompson, shall be held in perpetuity for him or his descendants. Initial deposit, $10,000. Compounded annually at 8%. I did the math on my phone. 70 years. $10,000. 8%. The number didn't look real. Over $2 million. Aldrich smiled softly. It's closer to 3 now. With another trust my father left later. My hands went numb. My mind spun. I'd been struggling to afford groceries, and here was a stranger telling me I was worth $3 million because of a debt of honor my grandfather never collected. I can't accept this, I said. He didn't save you for money. And that's exactly why you can, Aldrich said. This isn't charity. It's balance. He showed me a photo, his family, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. None of them would exist if your grandfather had left me on that hill. Every birthday, every wedding, every laugh, that's his gift. The money's just a symbol. That afternoon, lawyers arrived. Documents were signed. The trust was transferred. Just like that, my entire life shifted on its axis. Aldrich shook my hand before I left. Your grandfather gave me 70 years, he said. I finally got to give something back. When I stepped out of that mansion, the air felt different, heavier, sharper. I wasn't just a delivery driver anymore. I was a man carrying a legacy. I called my Uncle Royce that night, told him everything. He went quiet, then whispered, he could have taken that money. He could have made life easier for all of us. Yeah, I said. But maybe he wanted to teach us something else. That doing the right thing isn't a transaction. 2 weeks later, I opened my own business, Thompson Timber Supply. I hired veterans first. Used part of the money to pay for Juniper's education, part for my cousins. Melody called when she heard the news, suddenly remembering she missed me. I told her the only thing we needed to talk about was our daughter's college fund. That silence was worth millions. 6 months later, Aldrich passed away peacefully in his sleep. His son called to share his final message, tell Bryson the debt is paid. I went to the funeral. Hundreds of people were there, honoring the man who built an empire, who never stopped keeping a promise. But I knew the truth, the real empire wasn't his company. It was the lives my grandfather's courage had made possible. Every time I see a delivery driver now, walking up to a stranger's door, I think about that day. About how one knock can change everything. My grandfather carried Aldrich through war. Aldrich carried his gratitude for a lifetime. Now, I carry their story. Thompsons don't quit. We just keep carrying what matters. If this story touched your heart, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs a reminder that goodness never disappears, it just waits to be rediscovered. And subscribe for more true stories that prove kindness can echo across generations.